Welcome to the Caribbean American News Media Show, your premier destination for in-depth coverage, engaging discussions, and entertaining segments showcasing the rich tapestry of Caribbean American culture. Join us as we explore a wide range of topics, from current events and community spotlights to arts, music, cuisine, and more. Our show features exclusive interviews with influencers, artists, community leaders, and everyday heroes who are making a difference in the Caribbean American community. Stay informed and inspired with our thought-provoking segments that highlight the diversity, resilience, and creativity within our community. Tune into the Caribbean American News Media Show for a captivating blend of news, entertainment, and storytelling that celebrates the Caribbean American experience. Get ready to discover new perspectives, celebrate successes, and connect with the heartbeat of the Caribbean American community. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay tuned to Caribbean American News Media Show for an immersive viewing experience like no other. Hashtag Caribbean American News, hashtag show, hashtag cultural celebration.
Well, good night. Welcome to Caribbean American News Media Platform. Folks, we are live on the air. We are happy to have you with us. Again, we want to greet those who are viewing us through GVD TV channel 115. That's on Flow, and also our YouTube and our Facebook channel. Greetings, my friends. How was your day? This is the good time for you to share the live and for you to tag a friend. We are about to take off with our debunking of Mr. PJP's statement from Sunday. My guest tonight is Minerva Ward, and she will be with us tonight. She will be, and myself, we will be debunking. We'll be going through some of the statements, the careless statements that was made by this, as far as I'm concerned, careless Prime Minister. And we're going to look at some other issues, CIP. Of course, we're going to have an engagement. We're going to have engagement tonight. I want you to share the live, tag a friend. For those of you who are viewing via GVD TV, turn the volume up. Let your neighbors know that we are on, and they need to listen to truth. Yes, my friends, we believe that the truth will set us free. To all the hacks who are joining us, we want to welcome you to the platform. Again, you're free to call in tonight, but you will have to be respectful, and I'm not even sure if we are going to have calls tonight because of the nature of the program. We have a lot to discuss, a lot to dissect, and we're going to go right into our show. And it is my pleasure, friends, to welcome Miss Ward here with us. Most of you know the fiery Ward, who loves her country and have always been speaking on behalf of you, the citizens. She don't need to do it, but she does it. She take all the mapui and everything else, and so she stay the course when it comes to presenting to you what is happening behind the scenes, things that you might not know, things that you might know that are happening, like the CIP and some of the statements coming out of a prime minister of the country. And so I'm going to hand you right over into the capable hands of my honorable friend, Minerva Ward, and she's going to greet us, and then we're going to go into the bouillon of the matter. Miss Ward.
Well, good evening, Pastor Garfield. Thank you for having me on your show tonight. Yes. I thought it was important to spend some time discussing the statements made by Philip Pierre on Sunday at the Labour Party's March of Shame. There was a lot said, very inaccurate. The Labour Party and Philip Pierre, they're very good at throwing things out to their base, and unless they're challenged, they're believed. And we saw the same happen during the tenure of the UWP, where things were not debunked, things were not explained. And as a result, St. Lucians believed the lies. I think it's important for all of us who know the truth, not just UWP supporters, but those of us who know the truth, to stay on top of it and debunk immediately, to dissect, to explain, to put the facts out there immediately. But before I go into his speech on Sunday, I would like us to spend some time for a bit to talk about what is going on in CIP, Pastor Garfield.
Yes.
Now, you know, this week, the Honorable Alan Chastney, the leader of the opposition, has gone to Washington, D.C. to see the evidence of what Philippe Martinez had asked the government to come and see it for themselves. I want to talk about that for a second. Philip Martinez, and I want St. Lucians to understand his role in this because the Labour Party keeps talking about what is his interest in St. Lucia. He doesn't operate in St. Lucia. Why is he interested in what's happening in St. Lucia? Let me take some time to explain to the listeners, and good night to you listeners. Thank you for joining. Please share the live as you come in. As our passport, our St. Lucian passport, Pastor Garfield, is essentially because St. Lucia is part of an economic union, the OECS Economic Union. What essentially we have is an OECS passport. It bears the name St. Lucia on it, but anybody from any OECS country, Grenada, Antigua, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, Dominica, and so on, can work and travel, do business, etc., anywhere in the OECS. You do not even need a passport to travel within the OECS economic zone. You just need your St. Lucian driver's license or national ID. The only thing a Dominican cannot do in St. Lucia is to vote, but a Dominican can come to St. Lucia and do everything else. So when you have a program like the CIP or CBI, as it's called in St. Kitts, what essentially happens is that somebody from China or Nigeria or Russia, Dubai, or anywhere in the world buying a St. Lucian passport has access to all the other OECS islands. Anybody buying a Kittian passport has access to all the other islands. Again, the only thing they cannot do is vote. So essentially, anybody who is selling a Kittian passport, you're not just selling access to St. Kitts, you're selling access to the entire OECS. So essentially, Caribbean Galaxy is an agency operating in St. Kitts and St. Lucia, right? MSR Media operates only in St. Kitts, they don't operate in St. Lucia. But what Caribbean Galaxy is doing, what they are doing by underselling passports, affects not just MSR Media, which is their interest in this matter, it affects all other CBI agents or CIP agents throughout the OECS. This is the crux, and this is their interest in the matter. So their position is that the illegal underselling of passports, the Ponzi scheme that is being run by Caribbean Galaxy, not just in St. Kitts, but in St. Lucia as well, is affecting his business and every other CIP agent in the OECS.
Now, can we add, can we also add that it is being facilitated by government agencies because Galaxy cannot, would not be able to operate such a scheme in the region by themselves.
Exactly. And I'm going to get to that. But I'm trying to lay the groundwork for what is his interest in St. Lucia. Now, his position is that, and I'm just speaking from my understanding of what he's been saying, what his interest is, they have caused him and all other CBI business operators or CIP operators, in St. Kitts is called CBI, in St. Lucia is called CIP. I will use them interchangeably.
Yes.
Loss of business by the illegal operations, by underselling passports that are legislated. So understand me. This is not, I have my iPad here, Pastor Garfield. This is not my iPad where I could say, okay, I have this for sale for $100, but in 2 weeks it hasn't sold, I will sell it for $80. That is not how it works. Our passports, the prices are set in law. It is legislated. No agent, no department, no marketing body, not Galaxy, not MSR, nobody has the right to undersell our passports on the CIP market, whether it's in China or Nigeria or Dubai or wherever it else is in the world, right? Nobody. And that is the issue. That is his concern with what is happening in St. Lucia. So by the government, his argument is by the government, agencies, and the cabal, and the cartel, and the gang allowing this to operate illegally, They are affecting his business. I see the Labour Party using all kinds of nonsense about the reason why people are going to Galaxy as opposed to him is because they don't trust his reputation. No, it is because Caribbean Galaxy is underselling our passport. So, Gabriel, if I have this laptop, this iPad, right? Same specs, everything, and you standing up right next to me, you have the same one, same everything, right? Yours is $20 cheaper.
Yeah.
Who do you think people are going to buy from?
The cheaper one.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that is what is happening. That is his argument. So by the government of St. Kitts or the government of St. Lucia allowing Caribbean Galaxy to operate outside of the law and illegally in selling passports below the legislated price, they are essentially affecting his business, which is his interest in this matter. So I want to be clear on that. I want to go on.
Yes.
At the very heart, so let me just go back a step. Alan Chasney, as the leader of the opposition, has been forced to come to Washington, D.C. to get evidence in what the government of St. Lucia should have been providing to its citizens. Hear me clearly. Hear me clearly. The government of St. Lucia, as the elected body, has a duty to safeguard our CIP program. Right? They have not done that. There have been many issues raised, including by the opposition, even before Philip Martinez came into this picture, where the opposition was saying we are getting information that there's underselling of our passports going on. Something is not right. Luckily, Philip Martinez came and through his extensive network, more extensive than probably the opposition has, he was able to gather evidence, and through different lawsuits and so on, he was able to gather more evidence than we, the opposition, or the opposition has been able to. So he invited the government to Washington to meet with his lawyers and the U.S. authorities to say, hey guys, there's an issue in your country. I know when he started off, you probably have, the best interest of St. Lucia at heart. Come and see for yourself what I'm saying. There is a problem in your program. Come and see for yourself what it is that we have found. No, they did not do that. They refused to go. They insulted the man. They called him all sorts of names. They brushed him aside. They have refused to answer questions from the media, from the opposition, from citizens about our citizenship by investment program. Garfield, that program sells our citizenships, not just our passports, our citizenships, our collective citizenships as St. Lucians, that we have a vested interest in protecting and ensuring the program operates at the highest levels of integrity. This government has not done that. And on top of that, they have refused to answer questions from the media, the opposition, or the public. We have a right to know. So the opposition now, in asking questions of the government, not getting answers, you now have the opposition leader who is forced to go to Washington to get answers that the government should have been providing.
That's right.
So Alan Chasney is now in Washington meeting with Philip Martinez and his lawyers, and I'm guessing, I don't know for this fact, but the authorities in the U.S. to examine the evidence for himself. That is what is happening. It is unfortunate that the opposition has had to go to Washington to get us answers that the government should be providing. At the very crux of this matter is a gentleman by the name of Les Can. Now, St. Lucians may not know Les Can because his name is new to me. But I'd like you to put up his picture, please, Pastor Garfield.
All right, let's get the picture up.
This is Les Can. And I want St. Lucians to become familiar with his photo, and I want St. Lucians to become familiar with his name, Les Can. The first name is spelled L-E-S, and the last name is spelled K-H-A-N. Les Can is the former CEO of the CBI, I'll say CIP because that's what St. Lucians know. So CIP in St. Kitts. So remember St. Kitts has had their program, the CIP program, long before St. Lucia.
Yep.
So he more or less was the expert, the CIP expert in the Caribbean, because St. Kitts was probably one of the first out of the gate with Dominica and so on. St. Lucia was a late comer in the CIP thing.
Yep.
So he was a former CEO of CIP in St. Kitts. It was alleged when he held that position that he was in cahoots with Caribbean Galaxy. Now, Caribbean Galaxy, their role in St. Kitts was to build a prison. Their role was to build a prison, right? In St. Lucia, their role was to build a Canals Hotel, and this government has now introduced a new infrastructure program. Okay, I don't know what infrastructure program, infrastructure project they have to build. In St. Lucia, it was the hotel.
The hotel.
So in St. Kitts, people started to flag that there were issues with the way he was running the program, and that instead of safeguarding the program as a CEO of CIP St. Kitts, he was in cahoots with Caribbean Galaxy. When the new government came in, what happened? They got rid of him. They basically fired him because the money for the passports that was supposed to be there for the jail, the passports they were selling to fund the jail, was not there. You follow what I'm saying?
I'm coming. And by the way, as you're speaking about the prison, there's a news piece, and once you give me some time a little later, we'll play that clip where the Prime Minister Jew is saying on an interview on Sky News that they are yet to receive fees, the legal fees from the prison deal.
Wow.
I don't know if you want to go to it now and then
Yes, let's go to it.
Let's go to it, yes.
Yeah.
So that people would not think that we're spreading propaganda. All right?
View with SK Newsline suggested some uncertainties about funds collected from the Citizenship by Investment Program, the CBI, for the controversial prison project. The project, which started under the Timothy Harris administration, has been shrouded in controversy when critics claim the shares allocated from the CBI for the project far exceeded what the project actually costs, and that the developer and others would profit handsomely. Prime Minister Drew disclosed that the project would cost about 40 to 60 million US dollars. But when asked about the state of the project, this is what he had to say.
Is the prison being built, or will it still be built in the same site that it was allocated?
Right. So basically there was a contract, and from government to government. Government doesn't change. Administration changes. And so we said, let us look at the circumstances surrounding this. However, if there's a contract where funding that belongs to the government, if that funding is involved, the government must have access to its funding. So I would say the government has looked at it, has distilled a lot of the issues surrounding it. And because it's a contract that has been signed to get that done, the government now has to look and determine where is the direction. So I cannot say it's totally off the table, but I can say that we need to distill everything around it and make sure that everything is in order.
So right now there's no construction work going on at that project,
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I cannot say that there's nothing at all happening there, because the persons had a contract, as I would say.
Right.
We are just distilling the circumstances surrounding the contract. So I can't say that nothing will take place there.
Well, no, not that it will take place, but I'm talking at this present moment.
Yes.
Is there, or currently, is
Well,
there
those
construction?
who were involved there might be maintaining what is to be there because there's a contract.
Right.
However, the government is saying, let's slow down, let's distill what is happening here to make sure and what we will do.
What then will be the outcome?
Well, I can't say what the outcome is, depends on what is revealed. But I think that the outcome, if the government is to have its resource, there are resources there that would belong to the government would have to get its resources in
That is
whatever
money.
way, and that means that we can continue the construction.
So it sounds as if the funds are there, but
Right.
the government is not able to access it at this point in time. Is that? I'm just trying to understand.
Right. Okay, let me tell you. We are going to distill the issues around it. It was done through the CBI program.
Right.
Money was collected in on its behalf.
Right.
That money is to be placed into a fund. Once we look at it and everything, we get it to a point where everything is clear, then we said, okay, this can go forward.
Okay, so the funds are in escrow.
Right. So the funds are to be in escrow.
They are to be in escrow.
Right.
So they're not quite in escrow at this point in time.
Well, I will say that funds were collected, and we have collected some funds, but the funds are to be in the fund, and I will have to make sure that it's there with the AG, that the funds are there in escrow.
The prison project.
When you heard that, right?
Yep. Yep.
So he too is trying to play around. He don't have the money. They cannot have access. They don't have any access to the money. And this is the same galaxy that Mr. Martinez is talking about there in St. Lucia also.
Exactly.
Wow.
And herein lies the problem. Now, people will say, and rightfully, that the fact is that Alan Shastney, Caribbean Galaxy, came to St. Lucia under Alan Shastney and the UWP administration. That is the truth. There's no lie about that.
Yeah.
However, and I want to make this abundantly clear, that all the monies for the sale of the passports, all monies were placed in an escrow account
That's right.
that the board of CIP had to give approval to. The money does not belong to Caribbean Galaxy, like Ernest Hill said. The money was placed in an escrow account, right? Which means that there were specific milestones in which Caribbean Galaxy could draw down the money.
Yeah.
For example, the foundation, you get a certain percent. The walls go up, you get a certain percent. Ernest Hilaire himself admitted that when they came into government and did a tally for the escrow account, all the money for passports that was sold under the tenure of the UWP was there in the escrow account. Every single cent of it was accounted for. Additionally, the last administration ensured that annual audits of the CIP program were tabled in Parliament as is required by law. This government has not done that. The last audit that has come to Parliament was 2022. I want us to be very, very, very clear on this, Pastor Garfield, because the Labour Party is very good at twisting things, at majoring in false information, and so on. People will say that Alan Shastney brought Caribbean Galaxy. I want to be clear. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
But all the checks and balances were there.
That's right.
The money was held in the escrow account. And I have said this before, and I will say it again. No bank in St. Lucia, no local bank was willing to hold the escrow account, the level of money that is in that escrow account, and the due diligence required. No local bank would hold that money. The escrow account was opened in Hong Kong.
Can you explain to us, to our viewers, what is an escrow account? Because the more you explain it, the more people don't understand what escrow is. Is it a temporary account where monies are deposited for specific use?
Essentially, that's what it is. It's an account where two parties, the money is held with set terms and conditions for a specific program or specific project. So in this case, it was for the Canals Hotel.
Yeah.
So two parties, Caribbean Galaxy, they got 700 passports. 700, not files, passports.
So wait, so you're saying they got 700 passport and not files, which represents more passports?
Exactly. I'll come to that.
Oh,
but that
good.
is what they got under UWP, right? That's what they got to sell, right?
Yeah.
That money was deposited in the escrow account, which was fully accounted for. The agreement was that the board of CIP, the local board, the St. Lucian board, is the one who has access to that funds. So when Caribbean Galaxy says, I finished the foundation works at the canals, a quantity surveyor comes and does the bill of quantities on the project and says and certifies, okay, the work is done, okay, you get 10% of the money. That is how it was done. All the monies were accounted before. The checks and balances over in Caribbean Galaxy were there. Caribbean Galaxy were not given billions of dollars worth of passports to build a $400 million hotel like this government has done. So I want to make it abundantly clear.
Yeah.
When the government is saying, well, Alan Shastley put the account in Hong Kong, have they brought the escrow account to St. Lucia? Have they brought the escrow account to St. Lucia? No, they have not. And you know why? For the very same reason Alan Shastley put it in Hong Kong. No local bank will take the escrow account. The level of money and due diligence required, none of them want to take it. Okay? The escrow account is still in Hong Kong where Alan Shastley opened it. So let's be clear. If there's anything wrong with the escrow account being in there, they have 3 years to move it. They have not moved it. Why? Because no local bank will accept the escrow account in St. Lucia. So let's be clear about that.
Right.
Okay, let's go on. So, so you hear in St. Kitts, you see what's happening in your video, right? Same issues that we're seeing right now.
Basically, the Prime Minister is saying that there's a problem.
Okay, exactly.
It's like now they want us to speak Creole. I know you're not a Creole person,
Yeah.
but I'll see if I can do a little something off and on.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Right.
Mona ki ka koute no ka parle about CIP. Meniva just explain bagay CIP ek bagay escrow account. Ça c'est account ou ka deboun ka fait agreement, lani terms and condition pour yo tiye la di dan escrow sa. Ça c'est account ki temporary. All right? So ou ka mette la di dan, si ou ka faire kay ou ka faire ti bagay ek ou ka tiye la di dan pour faire projet par step. So lani fondation, whatever they call it, ek uni se brick la ou ka mute se brick la different phases of travail la ou ka tiye la di dan. C'est ça qui a fait. Sorry, I think I did well, Maniva.
I have no idea what you said, but
Me too. I have no idea what I just said.
It's amazing that a guy born in St. Vincent can speak patois and I can't. It's amazing.
I need to teach you.
You really do. Anyway, so when the new government came in St. Kitts, of course there was talk about what Lescan was doing, allegedly doing, and I'll say allegedly doing, in terms of the prison project.
Yeah.
When they came, they verified that the money indeed was not there. The money for the prison project indeed was not there. And he was fired. And guess who hired him? Pastor Garfield, guess who hired him?
Dis-moi.
Caribbean Galaxy hired him.
So there's no money,
Exactly.
and then they're hiring him.
Well, yeah, because there was the talk was that he was in cahoots with the same Caribbean Galaxy and corrupting St. Kitts' program. That was the allegations being made.
Wow.
So when the new government came, whatever they saw, they determined there was merit in that and fired him. And he was hired by the same Caribbean Galaxy. Do you see what's happening there? And
Wow.
of course, Caribbean Galaxy, who's operating in St. Lucia, he is their CEO. Now, St. Lucians do not really know Lescan. He's not necessarily a familiar character, but I want St. Lucians to become very familiar with his photo and his name. Put up his photo again, please, Pastor Garfield. St. Lucians, this is a picture of Ying Jing. It's kind of blurry.
Yes, it is.
Ying Jing, right, of Caribbean Galaxy, and Lescan. You want to put up the clearer one? I want people to see his name and know and become familiar with his face and his name. Lescan. L-E-S, last name K-H-A-N. Okay?
That's kind.
So what happened now when he became CEO of Caribbean Galaxy? Caribbean Galaxy operates in St. Lucia. When the government changed in St. Lucia and the Labour Party came in, he developed a very close relationship with Minister Ernest Sile, Thaddeus Antoine, Chairman of the Board, Lon Theophilus, and through that relationship with them, he became close as well to McLeod Emmanuel. You see how Lescan has come
Wow.
into the play in the St. Lucia equation?
Wow.
And I wanted to follow this trail.
Because people are
I wanted-
asking why is Mr. Martinez bordering St. Lucia? What is the connection? And
Exactly.
and why is he
That is
targeting
the connection.
Emmanuel and Galaxy in St. Lucia?
Exactly. That is the connection, because Galaxy is in St. Kitts and St. Lucia. And the same scam, the same scheme, the same Ponzi scheme they operated in St. Kitts, he's now introduced it to St. Lucia under this new government through his close relationship with Ernest Hilaire, Thaddeus Antoine, Lon Theophilus, and McLeod Emmanuel.
Interesting.
Okay? Lescan is the mastermind. Hear me out. Lescan, the old gentleman you see up on the screen that looking like he can't match a fly. He is the mastermind behind what has happened and what is happening in St. Kitts. It is this man who is the mastermind. So let me explain to you what is happening. And we have a packed program ahead. We haven't even gone into Philippe's speech.
Right.
which
You know,
is the-
let's take a commercial break for GVD TV. All right, we'll be right back, folks. All right.
At Palette Pleasure, located Ogier Vieux Fort, we take pride in our ability to cater to a wide range of events and occasions, whether it's a joyous celebration like a birthday, anniversary, wedding, or graduation, or a more somber gathering such as a funeral or first communion. We are dedicated to providing exquisite culinary offerings to suit each unique event. Our diverse menu includes offerings such as funeral treat boxes and treat boxes for all other occasions, ensuring that we can provide comfort and support during difficult times, as well as enhance the festivities during happier moments. In addition, we offer prepackaged meals designed for all occasions, ensuring that the food at your event is not only delicious but also convenient. Call us today at 75873333365 for your finger-licking and palatable foods.
All right, and we are back. We are back, folks. Maneva?
Yeah. So what is happening? And thank you. What is happening? And the reason why I call this a scam and a Ponzi scheme, Pastor Garfield, I want to make this abundantly clear. Under 5 years of the UWP government, 800 passports were sold.
800
Not files, exactly, not files.
in the 5 years.
800 passports were sold in 5 years.
Wow.
Okay? Under this government, they have given just to Caribbean Galaxy 56,000 passports.
56.
56,000 passports.
No.
Yes. Just to Caribbean Galaxy. There are other passports sold by other agents because there are other CIP agents. It's not significant. There are seemingly no issues with those.
Right.
There are many other CIP agents. There are no issues. They sell
So the
their
problem here
passports.
is Galaxy.
Is Galaxy. That is the problem. There are many other CIP agents. They sell to wherever, Dubai. They have the little offices wherever. They may sell a few for the year, but nothing significant.
Right.
The issue is Caribbean Galaxy. Right?
Yes.
56,000. Now, I want to be clear. Why would the government of St. Lucia, this SLP government, give Caribbean Galaxy so many passports to sell? Okay? The prison, sorry, not the prison, Canals hotel project, that's a $400 million project. Why would you give them $1.2 billion worth of our passports?
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. Honestly, it doesn't smell right. It don't sound right.
That is exactly where the corruption and the fraud is. Why would you give a company almost triple the number of passports that a project is worth? Obviously, it's either a couple things. One, there was collusion. That you knew fully well the passports were being undersold, so you would need to increase the number. so they can make the money to fund the
Oh, so
hotel.
that is what's happening there. They reduce the
That is what is
price
happening.
so that they
Exactly.
can have volume.
Exactly. That is where the corruption and the scheme and the scam comes in. And that is the issue. You cannot legally discount our passport. Our passport prices are legislated in law. It is enshrined in the law.
But what? It sounds like the government, they're just comfortable in collecting their $25,000 in fees. And once they get that, they don't care what happens in this CIP
And
scam environment thing.
And that's exactly what's happening. So the government, they collect a little 20, so they don't care. The lawyers, and you have just basically 2 or 3 lawyers in this. One of whom is the best friend of Ernest Hilaire. And Caribbean Galaxy tells them, go to this lawyer. This is their lawyer, Thaddeus Antoine. That is their lawyer. So he is making his money off of volume. So for every file process, that is where his money is being made. So they do not care if it's being discounted. The more they can get sold, the more beneficial it is for them, because they make their money in processing those files.
And all the people of St. Lucia get from this is the fees.
The fees, right? And supposed to be the hotel project that would generate economic activity.
Or like St. Kitts the prison.
So right? Or St. Kitts the prison, right?
Yeah.
The problem with that is that it is illegal. Not only that, the checks and balances and the due diligence that is supposed to be happening is not happening. The due diligence company that Caribbean Galaxy is using is owned by one of the directors.
Yeah, that's what I found out some time ago. Yeah.
Yes. And they're saying that the due diligence company the last government was using. No, it is not. No, it is not. Alan Chastain's government has said clearly that is not the due diligence company they're using. So Caribbean Galaxy, sorry, go on.
No, I just wanted, this is a did you know moment. Let's just educate especially the SLP folks who are just out there like parrots. Martinez is a crook. So here is it. This is a did you know moment. Did you know moment. And that is the due diligence firm that is being used now. It is not the same that was used under the United Workers' Party.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
good.
There was a completely separate due diligence firm that was used. So what's happening now? This firm that Caribbean Galaxy is using, that is supposed to be entirely separate from them, right? It is owned by one of the directors.
Wow,
So there's
say it ain't
no.
so.
It is so. So there's no impetus for them to do proper due diligence on who is getting St. Lucian passports. Their aim is to drive as many passport applications in without necessarily, so they're just basically rubber stamping the due diligence, not necessarily doing the checks and balances. And we've seen in Dominica and St. Kitts, people's passports have had to be revoked. We have seen people arrested with St. Kittitian passports for all kinds of schemes and scams. And so this is a problem.
And we saw this week where the co-founder of Telegram was arrested. He also has citizenship of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Again, that goes back to the root of the lack of due diligence. When you tell me the same company promoting the program, you have their sister company doing the due diligence, that is a clear conflict of interest right there. So we have 56,000 people from China, from Nigeria, from Dubai, from the Middle East, from Iran. This government has continued selling passports to Iranians, walking around with our St. Lucian passports that they have not done the necessary due diligence on to ensure these people are upright and they're not criminals. 56,000 people. I want St. Lucians to understand.
Yeah, that's a
What
lot.
is the population of St. Lucia?
It is what, 170 something? 180?
Yeah, 180. You have 56,000 new St. Lucians Chinese people, Nigerians, people from Iran, people from the Middle East walking around, going to the UK, going to England, going to France, going to Amsterdam, going to the US, going to Canada with a St. Lucian passport that you have not done the sufficient level or legitimate due diligence on. And that is the problem. This government has compromised the integrity of our passports. Now, Garfield, you and I don't have to care. We have other passports we can use. We don't travel on St. Lucian passports.
For sure.
But I am concerned about the St. Lucians, some of whom are under this live trying to be insultive. I am concerned for their ability to go to Europe, their ability to go to the Shenyang area, their ability to get US visas, their ability to come to Canada. I am concerned for the integrity of a St. Lucian passport, but more so as a St. Lucian citizen. Before I am anything else, I am a St. Lucian citizen. I am concerned for the integrity of my St. Lucian citizenship, which I hold dearly and proudly. I am concerned. And this is why I'm here tonight.
And the government of St. Lucia, I believe they are forming the fool in this whole discussion. We have Philip Japere, who is clunging around the place, Ernest, who is clunging around the place, the CIP unit right now, the CIP unit in St. Lucia, the agency that is responsible for our passports, the CIP program, we are in confusion right now. We don't know who is who. One time we're hearing this one resign, then he didn't resign, but he resigned, and he will resign, and he not resign, and I don't know. I will have to ask. And I have never seen such confusion in a very important organization like the CIP unit. I've never seen it, honestly.
It's a mess. It is a mess. It is a mess. And the reality is our CIP, the Citizenship by Investment Program, an organization, the CIP is a cash cow for St. Lucia. That is where you have to make sure you have your governance in place. That is where you have to have tight controls. That is where you have to have transparency, because you're not selling mangoes, you're selling our St. Lucian citizenship. When we do not know whether CIP has a chairman or not, when we do not know whether Lon Theophilus has resigned or not, and we're hearing all kinds of things, the Prime Minister doesn't know if he's resigned. How could you not know whether the chairman who is in charge of governance of one of your main statutory organizations that is bringing money into your country?
But Miniver, he's lying to the people, because right now he is spending CIP money all over St. Lucia now. Where did he get it?
Of course he's lying. Exactly.
Where did you get it?
And I'll come to that.
Yeah.
I'll come to that. So
how do you know the amount of money that is there?
Thank you. The lies around whether or not the organization has a chairman. We heard that the corporate secretary and legal officer had resigned. When the minister was asked, he was told us, as far as he knows, she's still there.
That's right.
Yes, at the moment she was still there, but he knows fully well that she had resigned, and her resignation was to take place a week or two after. Again, the lack of transparency.
That's right.
We have not had an audit report under this government. The last one was tabled in 2022, which was for 2021.
And you know, and we're the ones, we're the ones who are looking like liars and deceivers and don't like St. Lucia when we present what people sometimes say to us privately or secretly because they want to put these fellas in check. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So we speak and we look like the bad ones.
So this government is trying to, I've never seen a government gaslight and lie so blatantly to its people. Either they refuse to answer questions, they lie outright, or they talk over to you. So last week, Mr. Martinez came on and he showed us emails where he responded to an offer by the lawyers of the Prime Minister. And I will call them the lawyers of the Prime Minister, because a lawyer of McLeod cannot negotiate on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Well, you confronted the Prime Minister.
Exactly.
You confronted him. You pressed him. And he said that he do not have foreign lawyers. You did not ask him about his personal lawyer. You asked him about the government lawyers.
Lawyers. Thank you. And again, the lies. So the Prime Minister was on Rev Up I called him, and he tried to speak over me.
Yeah.
You realize what he was doing?
Yes.
Which is the same thing he tries to do, Lisa Joseph. He tries to speak over her and take her down a winding rabbit hole so she forgets the point. Or he tries to use humor and laughter. And all the little young journalists laugh to deflect from the point, but I was not letting him do that.
Yeah.
I stuck to my point. Prime Minister, do you, because Mr. Martinez said that he was approached by the lawyers, he was approached to settle the matter. He was approached by the lawyers acting on behalf of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Philip Joseph Pierre, to settle this matter out of court. Okay? The lawyer, who happened to be the same lawyer as McLeod Emmanuel, but the negotiations were not taking place on behalf of McLeod. They were taking place on behalf of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. The communication was back and forth with the Prime Minister and expressing the wishes and concerns and demands of the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, not in his personal capacity as Philip from Marshall, but as Philip Joseph Pierre, Prime Minister of St. Lucia. And when I asked him the question, he lied.
Because he's confused. He don't know whether he's the Prime Minister or not. He's still talking to you in a person from a personal.
Philip Pierre is a liar. I'm not even going to make any bones about that. I'm not going to whitewash it. I'm not going to water it down. He is a liar. Okay? You had Richard Frederick the night before on his show making excuses. So while Richard Frederick is defending, Philip Pierre is denying. They cannot even get their stories straight. Richard Frederick is defending the Prime Minister, reaching out through his lawyer to Philip Martinez to say, let's settle, right?
Prime Minister
Philip Pierre is
wants this to go away.
He never did that.
Right.
They cannot get their story straight because they are lying. Now, why would you, through your lawyers in the U.S., whether you want to call it McLeod's lawyer, your lawyer, it was negotiated on behalf of you as Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Why would you attempt to settle this matter outside of court when you've told us you're not saying anything more on the matter, let it go to court?
And we have confirmed that the email is legit. The law firms are legit. We did confirm those.
Of course the law firms are legit. So while he's telling St. Lucians, nothing to see here, guys. I'm not gonna say anything about this anymore. I'm gonna let this go to court. So you're telling us, the citizens, that, but you're going behind our backs to negotiate a private hush money secret settlement with Martinez. And guess what? Using public money. So when he asked Martinez, what will it take to make this go away? Because I want you to remove McLeod's name. The asks, remove McLeod's name from the email, from the RICO lawsuit, sorry. Do not add Ernest Hilaire's name to the lawsuit. The certain media houses and the email I saw named specific media to stop talking to. So they also wanted him not to just remove McLeod from the lawsuit, not only to not add Ernest Hilaire, but to stop talking to certain media about the matter. And on top of that, to make a favorable statement about St. Lucia's CIP. That was the request. That was the attempt to settle this matter out of court, to shut Philip Martinez up.
So let's confirm, right? The government, based on the emails that we're seeing through their lawyers, is approaching Martinez's lawyers, and they're saying to him, look, the PM want this to go away. What can we do? How can we fix this? What's the deal? And Martinez said to them, 9 million.
Exactly.
So we're confirming that they approached Martinez. Martinez put an offer on the table. They said, no, that's too much.
Exactly.
Come back with something better.
And that's exactly what
so
happened.
The settlement was all about finance. Right. Mr. Martinez is saying now, no, hold your horses. Where are you getting that money from? Is it from the government? So he's stopping the lawyers and say, hold your horse.
Yeah.
I did not sue the Prime Minister. I did not sue the government of St. Lucia. Why are you, or where are you going to get this money to close this deal? Go ahead, Miniville.
That's exactly. You've summed it up very well. That's exactly what happened. So the Prime Minister approached him because through his lawyers, because he wants this to go away. It's hurting them politically. St. Lucians are asking questions. The veil of our CIP, St. Lucians are opening it up now. Martinez is in the media telling people what is happening for our CIP. They keep saying, if the man has a RICO lawsuit, why doesn't he wait until the RICO lawsuit goes through? They know fully well the RICO lawsuit will take about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So they want him to stay silent. Meanwhile, St. Lucians have no idea what's going on in our CIP. They refuse to answer questions, and they're waiting 5, 6 years down the line. That's what they want to happen.
Yeah.
But no, Mr. Martinez is calling the media. He's doing interviews. He's letting St. Lucians know what our government should have been letting us know. So they want to shut him up. So Philip Pierre approached him through the lawyers in the U.S. to settle. Mr. Martinez said, because of the way you guys have allowed Caribbean Galaxy to operate in St. Lucia, it has deprived me business because St. Lucian passport, St. Kitts passport is all one OECS passport essentially. So you all have caused me by the illegality that you have allowed to operate under your watch and which you are part and parcel of. So yes, I am going to ask you for $9 million to cover my losses for the way you guys, Philip Pierre administration, has allowed Caribbean Galaxy to operate in St. Lucia.
Because Martinez he's a businessman and he's trying to recover
absolutely
money's lost.
And to do that.
Right. So Mowvle dit ce genre qui avait live là. Nous parlons about CIP. Et ça nous discover c'est lawyers là qui sorti qui lawyers c'est gouvernement Claude Emmanuel yo approché ces lawyers Martinez avocat c'est moun là qui yo dit yo comment nous ça just fait ça disparaître case là disparaître et qui yo mette yon des clauses là-dedans yo dit pas parler by media houses pas parler about CIP accord il y a bagay qui bon about CIP les médias pour tout le monde pour nous garder bon pour tout bagay garder all right et Martinez dit yo OK 9 million qui kai waje ça et qui dit ça c'est top we don't come again vie dormir là ça et mettez faire l'autre offer et nous kai garder because premier ministre il voulait bagay ça même just disparaître vitement. Sorry, go ahead, Miniva. I hope I was able to say something, of course.
Yeah. And I want to go back to the point, too, about what Martinez said. So Philip Pierre, through his lawyers, came back in a negotiation to say 9 million is too high, propose a lower figure because the money is going to come basically from from public money, essentially. That this is the government's money, is going to come from the government. So he didn't say no, because remember, he was the one who asked for an offer in the first place, a settlement in the first place. So he said, it's too high. Can you bring it down? So Martinez said, hold on. I have never asked you for public money. I do not want public money. The people of St. Lucia have already been robbed of our CIP money. I'm not trying to rob the people of St. Lucia.
And it makes sense.
I want you to do is to recoup the money, from those who have perpetuated the corruption on the people of St. Lucia.
Right. So, said, take the Rolex watches back, the Bam Bam lifts and everything, take them back and pay me from Lhasa. Give me the money from there. That's what he's saying. I don't want it from the government. The people suffer enough already.
Exactly. Now, I heard Richard Frederick talk a bunch of hogwash to say Philip Martinez. And I don't know if you have that video. We didn't plan on showing it, but to talk about Philip Martinez, he doesn't want the money from the coffers. He wants the money from the thieves.
The volley money.
He's essentially calling his colleague Ernest Hilaire and the group thieves. But he's saying Philip Martinez wants dirty money. That's not what the man is saying.
This guy have verbal diarrhea, so anything comes out.
He's not very smart. He's not very smart. Philip Martinez is saying, recover the money. Recover the money.
Go after them.
Okay? Go after them. Put the money back.
Yes.
Put it back in the hands of St. Lucians. And yes, pay me. You guys have perpetuated this and caused me to lose businesses and kids. Yes, so you should be paying for some of my losses, but recover the money from those who are guilty of the corruption. That's what he's saying.
That's right.
So, Pastor Garfield, before we last minute on the CIP matter, we need to move on to other
But
things,
very
right?
interesting. I'm enjoying this session, this full session on the CIP. I wish we could have more. Yes.
So Alan Chasney is in Washington, D.C. now.
Yes.
And I understand he will be on Timothy Polio's show tomorrow night, obviously brought in virtually. So I want everybody, all 500 plus people listening on the Facebook Live and all those listening on GVD TV.
And we have 200 people on YouTube.
Okay, thank you. That Mr. Alan Chasney, as in his capacity as leader of the opposition, will be streaming in on Timothy Polio's Newsmaker Live tomorrow night.
That's right.
To tell St. Lucians a bit of what he has seen and what he has learned in Washington, D.C.
Yep.
So I want all St. Lucians to gather their tea, gather their wine, their water, whatever they drink, even their Pepto-Bismol, because you might need some Pepto-Bismol tomorrow night, and gather around your TV and your phones and your devices to listen to some of what Alan Chasney has found in examining the evidence in Washington, D.C. So I want to ask some questions that I would like Mr. Chasney, I hope he can answer.
Yep.
I would love to know what kind of information that he's found in examining the evidence.
Yes.
I would like to know whether indeed the Prime Minister Massav, that claims he never know anything, I would like to know how much did he know. I want to know, why did McLeod Emmanuel go to Washington? Was the Prime Minister aware? What is the objective? I want to know whether they are aware of the discounting that has been taking place. I want to know. I also want to know if you have seen the emails that I have seen that show the Prime Minister was the one who, through his lawyers, reached out to Martinez for an out-of-court settlement to hush money, wajma, to get him to drop the case and to stop talking to St. Lucians about the mess and the corruption taking place in our CIP program. I would like to have answers to these questions. If you're listening to me tonight, Mr. Leader of the Opposition.
Yes. And we look forward to tomorrow night, and I'm sure Sunday and the days ahead we will be getting a lot more information. I would want Mr. Chasney to address the citizens of the country, and I want him to get into a forum where he can take calls directly from the citizens themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take all of their calls. Because for me, I'm not in the dark about this whole CIP situation, but the country, they're in the dark, they're confused. You have the SLP hacks who are saying, well, UWP is the one who is doing this, and Martinez, they don't like St. Lucia, they're a bunch of crooks and blah, 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 blah. That's what we're hearing. But it seems to me that we have a real problem here on our hand, and only time will tell. And Mr. Martinez, by the way, will be dropping some news sometime this week again. I just wanted to say that.
We absolutely do. Now, in Philip Pierre's statement on Sunday, he talked about corresponding banking, and we'll come to that. This program ends at 10 o'clock. What time do we end?
Let's go with. Once I get signal from GVD, then I'll let you know.
Okay, let's go. We have a lot to cover. We have a lot to cover. So I want us to go through the statements made by Philip Pierre on Sunday. And I will be asking you, since you have the controls, to just stop at certain points to discuss certain things he said.
Okay, good.
So how do I raise my finger when I would like you to stop?
You can raise it, or you can say stop there. Okay, let's
go. So
and by the way, you said Lucians who are complaining about my Creole. Your government speaking English and you still can't understand nothing that they're saying. So go deal with that. Anyway, sorry, sister.
Yeah, so if you could please pull up from the 2 hour and 15-minute mark, I want to go through Philip Pierre's remarks at that walk of shame on Sunday, please.
Okay, all right, let's go right now to that clip. Wait, I'm not hearing. What happened there?
And my brothers and my sisters, I want to thank you. I want to thank the cabinet. I want to thank the party. I want to thank the General Secretary. Give him a round of applause for me, please, Leo Clark. I want to thank 100 pensioners in this country who used to get $300 a month. This month, in their pay packet, they got $500. That is the price. And the price is every pensioner in the government who used to get less than $700 a month, this year, this month, this payday will get at least $725 per month. That is the price, my brothers and sisters. And the price is every child, regardless of political affiliation, the government will pay facility fees for every child when school opens next week. That is the price, my brothers and sisters. And the price is every child who does CXC, the government this year will pay English and Maths for them. That is the price, my brothers and sisters. And the price is, we want to ensure, and we've given 1,000 scholarships for the children of you, the people of St. Lucia. 1,000 get the necessary tools for the world of work. That is why in September we are opening 4 TVET schools. So those of you who don't want to study economics and history, you can go to school to learn a skill so that you can get in the job market and have a better life for you and for your children. That is what we are about. And this Labour Party is not shy about doing things for the people. We're not shy about it. We make no bones about being a party for all the people. But I'll tell you what. When they tell you they know about business and they are businessmen, this Labour Party did something for businesses that no government has ever done before. You know what we did? Anybody who owed the government taxes from the year 2000 above, we told them, hold it. And anybody who owed taxes to the government, there are penalties and there are fines. We said to them, hold the penalties, hold the fines, hold the VAT fines that you collected for the government and you did not give it to them. We said to them, hold it. Millions of dollars. We said to them to hold it and pay.
Maniva, I just wanted some
Yes.
clarity. I don't know if you can help me out here.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister
Yeah.
said that they're paying CXC this year.
Yeah.
CXC is when, in December?
I think you have to pay like around December. It's a long time I wrote CXC, so I'm not sure.
Oh.
But Gabriel, I know people are getting mad listening to Philip in
Yeah,
the comments.
yeah.
You see, the point of going through this, I want
Yeah.
to make the point. Let me say the point I want to make.
Yeah.
Because this government has been in power for over 3 years now. They're now in their 4th year.
Yeah.
For the last 6 months, they've been mobilizing people to come out to this march. They call it a March of Progress or Walk of Progress. They had calypsos, they had all kinds of things, trucks going around, all kinds of things to mobilize people to come out. I am asking, what is it do they have to count as progress? And I want solutions to hear how deficient in any tangible things they have to show as progress. That listen to what they are counting. I'm going to give them their credit where credit is due. So I was actually taking notes while he was talking. So I have my paper here. I'm taking notes. So they've given pensioners an increase.
Yeah.
They're paying CXC Maths and English. They're paying facilities fees, and they're giving scholarships. I don't know how the scholarships are given. That's 3 years in office, Pastor Garfield.
Yeah.
That is going on. They're into their fourth year.
Fourth year. Mhm.
Okay? I will give them credit for those things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to question those things, right?
Especially the pensioners getting something
Right.
extra.
I'm not going to question.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them credit for that. But that is 3 years. You into your fourth year, and that is all you have to count as slate for your stewardship in office. And you're talking about taxes? People who have collected VAT from people, from consumers, and have not given to the government, and you're going to give them a break? Let me tell you something. There's no creative economics in writing off tax debt. There's no creative economics in that. That is the simplest thing to do, Pastor Garfield. With a stroke of a pen and a paper, you write off the tax debt. There's no creative anything. There's no thought. There's no strategy behind that, okay? You are literally using the public money to write off taxes that belong to the people of St. Lucia, that you have collected from people that you have not remitted to the government. You're giving them a break, and you're counting that as an achievement. How could that be an achievement?
But why not just cut taxes for the people instead?
Exactly.
Why
Exactly. Exactly.
Because that money is already collected. The taxes were already collected. They're owing. Those are
Exactly.
monies that are not the business's own. It is the government's funds.
Exactly. VAT is money they've collected from consumers.
People already got
Somebody has
squeezed.
they pay back. Exactly. But you're counting that as part of their successes in
That's
office.
not a
How
success,
could that be a
man.
success?
No.
Okay, let's go on. Because there's a lot more. We have to
Yeah.
go through this quickly.
But somebody just sent me a text. I believe the person is aware of what is happening. They said it is for private students. He is paying it for because they are the ones writing it in January. So I'm going to read this again. The person is saying, and we're subject to correction here, that the Prime Minister is paying for private students because they're the ones writing the CXC in January. So that one we'll investigate, and we'll get back to our people on that one. We'll get some clarity there. So let's go back to the clip.
Incentive ever given to the private sector in St. Lucia. And I want anybody to tell me this is not the biggest incentive ever given to the private sector in St. Lucia. That is what we are about, my brothers and sisters. So I want you to be confident. I want you to have a country of love and understanding. I want to say one thing. I promise, and this is the third time I've been on this platform since we're in government. I promise never to mention Alan Chasney's name. Never.
Great.
Never. But tonight, I will call him out. I will call him out tonight.
Call him out. Go ahead.
Let's listen to this.
And we will call you out too.
Because,
Go ahead.
you know, you cannot be in the back engineering nastiness against Hilaire, against all of us. My brothers and sisters, Alan Chasney is behind personal attacks of people in this country, including my daughter.
Just stop there for a second, please, Pastor Garfield.
Yes. Whoa.
The
I wanted
Labour
to stop
Party-
long time.
Okay, the Labour Party is very good at projecting the things they do on the UWP. The things they do, all their nastiness and filth, they are very good at projecting it on the UWP. Okay? The Labour Party is, because Philippe knows what goes on behind the scenes in the Labour Party camp, and I've been in the camp, so I know what goes on behind the scenes, that he believes Alan Chasney is doing the same. I could tell you that Alan Chasney is a man of integrity and operates above board. Philippe loves to play like he is a victim, like the Labour Party is the victim, that Alan Chasney is the one engineering this. Philippe, start taking accountability for the mess that your government and your minister, Ernest Hilaire, and your government officials have put our CIP program in. It is not Alan Chasney who has put our program in that mess. It is your government, and you refuse to take accountability. You refuse to act as the leader of the country. Your government has put our CIP program in jeopardy and in a mess, not Alan Chasney. and orchestrating attacks against your daughter. So let me tell you something, Pastor Garfield. I have certain boundaries, personal boundaries. I don't cross.
Yeah.
When it comes to people's families who are not in politics or people who are not in politics, I don't cross those boundaries. Period. I don't want anybody to interfere with my family. I don't interfere with anybody's families. That's my perspective.
True.
However, the questions raised about Felicia Pierre because of her role at CIP.
What is her role?
She's a risk profiler at CIP.
That's
She's
a big
risk
position.
profiler. That's her position. She's not a receptionist at CIP. She's not a secretary at CIP. She's not she's not a marketing person. She is a risk profiler. Therefore, by virtue of her position, there are questions to be asked, legitimate questions. Nobody's going after her as the Prime Minister's daughter, but these are legitimate questions, whether she's the one in that role, or Jennifer Jones, or Timothy Harris, or whoever. The questions are legitimate for the person in that role.
Yep.
Philippe likes to act like he's the victim, always the victim, always somebody always doing something, somebody always come after him. Nobody's coming after your daughter. The questions are for that role, just like there are questions for the board chair, there are questions for the legal office and corporate secretary. There are questions for the person in that role.
And
Stop
we would never encourage anyone to go after her because she is his daughter. She's being questioned because she's working in a very important position.
Exactly. And the questions about the suitability for her in that role are legitimate. You can't run after. Nobody's attacking her on her personal life or personal business. Nobody's attacking her because she's the Prime Minister's daughter. No, exactly. The questions are legitimate for anybody who sits in that role. Okay. Let's go on. I'm getting so many messages that people don't want to see Philippe, but we have to, folks. We have to listen and debunk. We have to dissect. This is the mistake we made in the last election. We allowed the lies to fester. Nobody was responding to them. We have to listen and we have to debunk them. So please bear with us tonight. And I want everybody to stay tuned under the live and on television. I'm receiving so many messages saying they don't want that on their television.
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing too. But I don't understand the people. I mean, if we have put in the time here, we're trying to debunk and to explain certain things.
Exactly.
We don't want to come there and spread propaganda on the Prime Minister. We're going to play him and we're going to debunk what he's saying. And that's how we do it. So I'm going to ask you folks to adjust yourself, adjust your temperature, drink some water, and just relax. We're doing it, not you. All right? So let's go.
Because people keep saying that we don't debunk what the Labour Party is saying. Okay? Now we're here taking the time to do it, to actually show what he said and to dissect and debunk. You guys have to bear patience, listen, get the responses, and be prepared to address them in your communities, in your workplaces, on your social media. That is the purpose of us being here. We cannot allow the Labour Party lies to go unchallenged as they were when UWP was in power. We have to respond to them. And that's what we're doing now. So
and
please
you have to
be
be
an
informed foot soldier. You got to be an informed foot soldier. You can't go out there with propaganda, lying, making up lies on the Prime Minister and the SLP. And then people are saying to you, you're lying, and you're not legit. You're saying bad things. It's because you're not listening. So let us listen, friends, so that we can be effective for soldiers for the United Workers' Party.
Absolutely. So please stop blowing up my phone, telling me you don't want to see that on your screen. You have to go through it.
I know. Yeah, this is their bitter pill. They gotta take it. It's good for you all.
Absolutely.
So let's go on.
Yeah, let's go on.
All this nastiness that's happening in this country, my brothers and sisters. But the worst one, you can attack me, you can attack us, but when you will go and join with people who have no interest in St. Lucia, but interest only in themselves, you will join with these people to bring down St. Lucia, to try to get St. Lucia to lose its corresponding banking. Now, you probably...
Let's stop here. So I have explained already what Mr. Martinez's interest in what is happening in St. Lucia with Caribbean Galaxy is. I don't need to repeat that. I've gone through great lengths to explain how Caribbean Galaxy's operations in St. Lucia is affecting his ability to do businesses and kits. But not just his, all of the CIP agents. So I've explained that. Philip Pierre keeps on blaming everybody for the potential loss of correspondent banking, potential loss, but the people who are responsible for the corruption and the money laundering in our CIP program. Pastor Garfield, that is like a woman. Let's say her name is Lisa.
Yeah.
And John rapes Lisa. Okay? John rapes Lisa. Lisa goes to the police to report rape. John gets arrested. That is like people saying Lisa is the one who caused John to get arrested.
Yeah.
No, John's actions caused John to get arrested.
That's right.
And that is what you call gaslighting. That's what you call scapegoating. And the Labour Party is very good at that. It is not Alan Chasney or Philip Martinez who will cause St. Lucia to potentially lose its correspondent banking. It is the actions of this SLP government and their mismanagement and the corruption they have allowed and are possibly engaged with under our CIP program. That is what is going to cause us to lose our CIP, our correspondent banking. Nobody else. Take accountability and responsibility and stop shifting the blame.
But you would think that the Prime Minister would know better, ain't it? You would think that he would not make such a careless and ignorant statement. The opposition, who has his own business, and whose wife got to shop on Shein too, and Amazon too. You think the Prime Minister, the opposition leader, he wants to lose correspondent banks so he will not be able to do business? That's what, and his father would not be able to business. His family wouldn't be able to business. This is just a careless statement by the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. And I think he needs to cease from these, from speaking nonsense in the public space and look into your agencies. Your agencies would be the threat to St. Lucia losing correspondent banks, not the opposition leader, sir.
It's not just careless and reckless and irresponsibilities. It is downright meant to deceive. It's an outright lie meant to deceive the people of St. Lucia. Pastor Gaffey, let me just read quickly for you what correspondent banking is.
Yeah, thank you.
So correspondent banking for Caribbean countries. Correspondent banking allows Caribbean banks to access global financial systems through larger banks in other countries. So St. Lucia has correspondent banks in the UK, in Canada, in the US, and so on. So it allows countries in the Caribbean to access global financial systems, so global trade and so on, in other countries, facilitating international payments, currency exchanges, trade transactions, and so on. Listen to this. Listen to this to show you the absurdity of what Philippe is saying. Caribbean banks face risks like de-risking, where global banks sever ties, like in the case of Bank of America in Dominica that has severed ties in all matters involving CIP transactions in Dominica, sever ties due to money laundering concerns, limiting access to international financial networks and increasing compliance costs. How they are detected? How money laundering is detected in the U.S. banks? U.S. banks monitor transactions for suspicious activities and report them to authorities as part of anti-money laundering programs. What does Alan Chasney have to do with that? You think Alan Chasney can influence that? You think Alan Chasney can influence that? Is Alan Chasney the one who caused Dominica to lose correspondent banking? Is Philip Martinez the one who caused Dominica to lose correspondent banking?
Yep.
Losing, if money laundering is found, so the banks don't operate on hearsay. The banks don't operate because Martinez say there's money laundering, or because Alan Chasney or Minerva or Garfield say there's money laundering. If money laundering is found, banks can face legal action, fines, termination of corresponding relationships, reputational damage, and increased regulatory scrutiny.
That's right.
So Bank of St. Lucia, as the bank which handles CIP transactions in St. Lucia, they can face all of those things if money laundering through our CIP program is found. Now, Pastor Garfield, the mere fact that there has been underselling under the legislated price for our passports means they are breaking the law. That money goes through US banks and is traded in US currency, and that is where the money laundering comes in. You understand me?
Wow.
You get me?
And you're right.
Okay.
You said that the banks, especially the correspondent banks, the US banks, they can be hauled before Congress to answer.
Absolutely.
And we have seen it over and over. Correspondent banks, Bank of America, Chase, going into Congress to answer questions.
Absolutely.
Sometimes just on little fees that they're charging. Far less
Exactly.
crookery. And these
Absolutely.
banks will quickly protect themselves. They are not going to play around with these little banks in the Caribbean who have $200 in it.
Exactly. Exactly. So you think Alan Chasney, you think it's about what Alan Chasney says or Martinez or
Yeah.
you and me? That's
Please.
not how it works. That's not how it works, Philip Pierre. And you know that. Stop lying to the people of St. Lucia. Stop lying to the people of St. Lucia. The impact on Caribbean countries losing correspondent banking relationships can harm Caribbean economies by disrupting trade, remittances, and investment. Okay? So that's the outcomes. That is the potential outcomes of losing correspondent banking.
Yep.
Okay? So this idea that Alan Chasney don't want them to shop on Shein. I mean, stop insulting the intelligence of St. Lucians. My gosh, stop it, Philip Pierre. You are insulting our intelligence. We are intelligent, educated people. Stop it. Okay, let's go on.
But let me ask you before we go on, how many St. Lucians have a credit card to go and shop at Shein right now? They can't even shop at Marcy. They're shopping at Shein. Huh?
I guess a lot of them, but you see, he's dumbing it down to the lowest level.
That's right.
I find it an insult to the intelligence of people because they are so much bigger than that. Listen to this again. Listen to this again. Losing corresponding banking relationships can harm Caribbean economies by disrupting trade, remittances, and investment. Okay? If we lose correspondent banking, Alan Chasney's hotels are going to be affected.
That's
Our
right.
whole tourism industry is going to be affected. What is this? How Alan Chasney is responsible for that? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. Okay, let's go on, please.
Mercy. Go ahead, Mr. Sheen.
My brothers and sisters, Alan Chasney is behind personal attacks of people in this country, including my daughter.
I didn't want to stop there, but something just came to my mind. I saw a vendor being insulted and exposed by his minister of government.
Exactly.
Now we are talking about his daughter. He's mad, but he's not mad about the vendor. What did he say? What did he say about the vendor? I don't know. I didn't hear. I will ask the minister what he said. But he heard the questions for his daughter, and he's upset about it. But he's not upset for the ordinary St. Lucians in the country. You who you were insulted and threatened in this country.
So Philip is upset for his daughter, but he's not upset about the cashless vendor Jocelyn. He's not upset about Dr. Merle Clark being insulted. He's not upset about Minerva Ward being insulted. I'm somebody's daughter, Philippe. He's not upset about Irma Frank being told by a government minister that she should be beaten and beaten and beaten until she dies on his program. You're not upset about these things. You're not upset. You never see, you never heard, you don't know, you have no idea. But you're upset because people ask legitimate questions about your daughter's role at CIP. You're upset about that.
Such a shame. Let's go. Let's continue. Such a shame.
Is the one behind all this nastiness that's happening in this country, my brothers and sisters. But the worst one, you're going to attack me. You're going to attack us But when you will go and join with people who have no interest in St. Lucia, but interest only in themselves, you will join with these people to bring down St. Lucia, to try to get St. Lucia to lose its corresponding banking. Now, you probably may not know what is corresponding banking. You probably may not know that. Anytime,
So you want me to stop?
anytime you use your credit card, anytime you go on Amazon and Shin and buy stuff, you use your credit card. You know what you want to do? He wants, Alan Shasley wants you not to be able to buy things on Amazon for yourself. That's what he wants. Because when he joins with people
I think the Prime
and
Minister was in the sun
supports
so
you,
long.
supports any initiative that will cause you to lose your corresponding banking opportunity that you have, that means you cannot buy things on Amazon again for yourself. That is what he wants to happen to you, because he's not Prime Minister. But he can buy because he's a product of Canada. So he
Stop
can
here,
buy.
Pastor Garfield.
Oh, I
See?
would.
You see the dog whistling? You see the absurdity. Okay? Alan Shasney has a hotel where he needs to order things from overseas. He has guests coming from overseas who need to use their credit card. Alan Shasney. Why would Alan Shasney, not to say he could influence this, he cannot influence this, period. But why would he even want that? It means his business is going to be at a standstill. That makes no sense. And listen to the stupidity. Because he's a product of Canada. Because he's a product of Canada. You see how they do that dog whistling?
Dog
Again,
whistling, yeah.
that's the same old tactics they used in the last election. That Alan Shasney is not one of us. That Alan Shasney is a white man. That Alan Shasney is a product of Canada. The same nonsense. They are continuing the same tactics. I don't know if the election consultant told them to continue that.
I
The
think so.
same
Yeah.
nonsense they play to the most ignorant of St. Lucians. And
Well-
all of us who are intelligent St. Lucians, we need to be outraged at this foolishness that this Prime Minister is spewing to us.
But what I'm concerned about is, why is he trying to insult Canadian Americans? Why? Because that's what I
Exactly.
take it as, an attack on Canadian Canadian St. Lucian Canadians. St.
Yeah.
Lucians who are Canadians, who live there, who Canada have shaped. They went to school there. They got their experience there. You are insulting them, and I'm shocked that nobody is saying anything, really. The Canadians are not telling him to shut his mouth, stop calling our name, stop insulting us. We are St. Lucians, and yes, we are products also of Canada. Some of us are products of the United States, product of England. And you have been asking all these products to come home and do business in the country.
Exactly.
Come home.
Exactly.
We will give you incentives. Come home. What? When we come
Exactly.
home, what are you going to do? Insult us?
Exactly. Somebody sent me a message. They said Philip Pierce, and they were talking about his abhorrent comments on the market step about this whole product of Canada thing. The person says basically they're trying to create in the image of in the minds of St. Lucians that Alan Shasney is foreign and not of St. Lucia.
Yeah.
Of course, we know that they've done that in the last election, and they continue to use that same nonsense. The person said he's conveniently making first world lived experience a bad thing. So the experience that the experience that I have gotten in terms of broadening my perspective, the education, the work experience I've gotten in Canada, what you have got in the US, what thousands of St. Lucians across the globe have gotten by living in the diaspora, he's now trying to make that experience a bad thing by using Alan Chastain's statement speaking to a Canadian audience, implying that he went to school in Canada and therefore a product of Canada, making it out to be something derogatory. The person says to me, if so, why are Ernest's children studying or living in the U.S.? Now, if I had seen that, I wouldn't have read that because I don't want to go after people's children.
Right.
Okay, especially people's minor children. So I would not have read that.
Yep.
A lot of them, the kids are born in the U.S. Philippine, where was your daughter born? You know, a lot of them are born in the U.S., in Canada, in the UK, and nothing wrong with that. Most of my nieces and nephews are born in Canada.
Yeah.
They are products of Canada, but they're also St. Lucian.
Yep.
They're also St. Lucian. You've now created a law that gave third generation children the ability to get St. Lucian citizenship, but now you're insulting product of Canada. I am a product of Canada. My nephew, who's on St. Lucia's national swim team, was born in Canada, but he's also St. Lucian. He's also a product of Canada, went to high school in Canada. My nieces and nephews as well. So you're trying to use that as some derogatory term when there are thousands of us who are products of Canada and products of the US, the UK, Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad. All of these, we are not a monolith, Pastor Garfield. We have left St. Lucia. There are countries that have impacted us, that have influenced our lives. We are shaped by we have broadened our knowledge and our experience. I'm a product of many different things, of Bahamas, of Jamaica, of Canada, where all countries I have lived. I'm a product of all of that. I am not a monolith.
No,
Anyway.
that's right. These countries have shaped us into what we are today. And we give credit to all these countries, St. Lucia, Canada, America, all the countries that we have spent time in. You know, we are products of this country. And it is very sad that the Prime Minister would be making such a yardie statement, as far as I'm concerned, acting like he have never gone out of St. Lucia. And, you know, he sees St. Lucia as the world, it seems.
His mind is so hair.
Yeah.
Honestly, we have a lot more to go through tonight. I don't know that we'll be able to take calls because we have a lot to cover.
That's why I had to dismiss that call. So you want to continue?
Yeah, let's continue, and we have to go through.
Yep.
Wants you not to be able to buy things on Amazon for yourself. That's what he wants. Because when he joins with people and supports any initiative that will cause you to lose your corresponding banking opportunity that you have, that means you cannot buy things on Amazon again for yourself. That is what he wants to happen to you because he's not Prime Minister. But he can buy because he's a product of Canada. So he can buy and you cannot buy. He can go and shop but you cannot go, because if you lose your corresponding banking, you can't do anything of this nature. I want him, instead of attacking my daughter and everybody's here, instead of attacking them personally, I want him to say to the people of St. Lucia, why are you joining to make us lose our corresponding banking relations? Monday, sir. So my brothers, I done.
So, just stop here for a second, please, Garfield. I just want to be clear. I just want to reiterate, right? I want to reiterate. If St. Lucia loses its corresponding banking, the only people responsible for that is the Philippines government, including Ernest Hilaire and the people running our CIP program, not Alan Chastain, not Philippe Martinez, not Minerva Ward, nobody else. If St. Lucia loses corresponding banking, it is solely the responsibility, okay? And the Philippine administration is solely to be blamed for that. No amount of gaslighting and scapegoating will change that. You are responsible, Philippine. Take accountability.
And that's right. Totally agree. It is not because of any opposition leader. And by the way, I haven't seen Mr. Chastain attacking anyone's daughter.
No.
I have never seen him do it. So, Mr. Pear, you know, you're misleading the citizens of the country, and you need to stop it. And we're not going to tolerate it. We're going to call it out. We're going to debunk it. We're going to expose it. for what it is. So just stop. All right.
Moi tenu pour créer non monsieur because moi tenu pour expliquer bah où ça il voulait faire. So let's go forward. There is more coming. There is more coming. Last week we gave to the hospital $11 million from the CIP. And
Let's stop.
Philip found the money. No, you laugh. Philip found the money.
Pastor Garfield, for 3 years, we heard nothing about our CIP money. We heard nothing about our CIP money. We never saw our CIP money. We saw no projects our CIP money is being spent on. We didn't get a break on taxes because of CIP money. As a matter of fact, this government in 3 years has done more borrowing, has borrowed more than the last government borrowed in 5 years. And remember, the last government had to respond to COVID. They had to borrow for COVID. This government in 3 years has borrowed more than the last government in 5 years.
But remember, you couldn't find the lockbox, right?
They couldn't find the lockbox. They borrowed $201 million for St. Jude's. On top of that, on top of high inflation, they added a new tax. Okay? If we had CIP money that is now raining out of the sky like manna from heaven, shouldn't you have given St. Lucian's a break to say, no, guys, we have CIP money now. We will not need to impose this new tax. There's money for healthcare. There's money to build St. Jude's. There's money to think OKEU. You had Dr. Mulclaff, the president of the SLMDA,
That's right.
coming. Let me tell you something. I found that she took too long to come and say something.
Yeah,
Because
true.
let me tell you, I was shocked the number of people I see on social media calling their radio stations saying their family members have died from young to old because of the conditions at OKEU. This government did not do anything. Mulclaff finally came out and spoke in a strong letter on behalf of the doctors and nurses at the hospital, saying that the healthcare is the worst ever. Richard Frederick insulted her, calling her a Zeleva flubbo. Okay, all of that the lady had to go through.
Yeah.
And on Friday, before your march, because you want to be able to say. On Friday, on Thursday and Friday, you all over the place, all kind of CIP check handing ceremonies. All of a sudden, CIP money appear. You all over the place handing out CIP checks. We never heard anything about CIP money or anything. All of a sudden now, everything is CIP money. Roads is CIP money. Roads are supposed to be done from a gas tax, from fuel tax. All of a sudden now, roads is CIP money. OKEU, which is supposed to be funded from the health and safety tax, all of a sudden CIP money. There's a group in View Fort, $250,000 CIP money. All of a sudden now, we rein in CIP money like that. That's how Philip Pierre was on Thursday and Friday before the march.
Yeah,
CIP
right.
money.
Wow. I was shocked that guy placed a 2.5% on St. Lucian's, told them that there is no money. Shazna took all the money and they can't find the lockbox. They can't fix the roads. It was raining. Then we found out that they didn't have money to fix the road. We have money now. We're going to give 11 million and we have more to give. And we're giving organizations who people have never heard of.
Yes.
People don't know of $250,000.
Who is that group? So now, listen, I'm not bashing any group that gives CIP money because that's our money as far as I'm concerned. But it's almost like because the corruption in CIP has been exposed, they are just rushing around the place like chickens with their heads cut off, giving out CIP money with no rhyme or reason, no
Damage
logic,
control.
no sense, damage control, just to save face and just to go to their march and say, oh, we gave a check here, we gave a check there. So Philippe all over on Thursday and Friday like a madman, rushing from media house to check handing over ceremony to media house to check handing over ceremony to media house.
Yep.
That is the state of our government. This is the state of governance in St. Lucia now. This is the state of governance in St. Lucia now. Okay, let's go on.
That's right. Folks, we're not taking calls now. We have those calls coming in fast and furious. We're not going to be taking calls, all right? You can text a message if you have any question. Text. I'll take the text. So just text, folks.
There is more to come. In a couple weeks, I will announce one of the biggest financial injections in the health service of St. Lucia. Wait for me, I come in. That's what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid of. Wait for me, I come in. And when I come in, you come in too. All of us come in. All of us come in. So I come in.
Yeah, let's stop.
You have a little video I want you to play. You know which one? Trigger. I need to laugh.
Sorry. Let me see if I can find. Is this one?
Philip JP attack elderly people and tell a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip JP attack elderly people and tell a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story.
Take his microphone. Just a minute. Mon passe après Major Betis.
We understand. We too. We have the same feelings, brother.
Philip, you say you come in. Philip, stop coming and go. Philip, stop coming and go. Philip, stop coming and go.
But he was the most ready, and he's still coming.
Type that in the comments.
He can't reach yet.
Type that in the comments. Stop coming and go, and put the go in caps. Stop coming and go. Type it in the comments. You come in.
But 3 years. 3 years, the man's coming and he can't come yet, he can't reach yet, he can't fix the roads, he can't fix the hospital, CIP is a mess, he don't know who is in CIP or who is not in CIP, the police is upside down. What a story. I thought what they were celebrating. If you come in, what are you celebrating?
Exactly.
Moment.
There's a phrase, stop coming and come.
Mon passe après Major Betis.
He pass a come, he pass a reach. So it will be, I don't know, I'm confused. I tell the truth. That's a big story.
That's a big story. That's a big
But he
story.
said he have more money coming. He have more money. He found the CIP purse. Something happened in St. Lucia. I don't know if the money was found on the desk, in the bush, or what offshore account those money were in St. Lucia. But Prime Minister of St. Lucia found the money and he giving it away like money is going out of style.
Yeah, like this.
Thanks to Mr. Martinez again.
All of a sudden, Martinez exposed them. All of a sudden, money appeared from nowhere.
The hospital need to thank Mr. Martinez. The Rasta who got the 250 need to thank Martinez. All the supporters need to thank him because money coming now. Come on, man.
Money.
This is a funny moment,
It's
folks.
raining CIP money now.
My God. And they're still calling Mr. Martinez a crook.
Philip, stop coming and go.
Yes.
Stop coming and go. Okay.
3 years he coming still. Yeah. My Lord. Anyway, Prime Minister, we're here for the last moment. Tell us.
Because I keep my eye
On the prize.
So we come in. We come in.
Mon passe après Major Betis.
You know what happened? Castries East, thank you. Castries East, thank you.
For what?
They try everything on me. Now they want to send against me a fella and his family that ran against me from 1992. But nobody who want to run election on February 40th can ever beat me. So my brother, we come in. So you see, Rockall, imagine that. A man goes on social media. That is Monday tell me I see. I doesn't know social media. She tell
Monday,
me.
stop gossiping.
If I laugh after her. A man gone on social media and say, how do I want to build houses in Rockall? You know, because he believes that the people in Rockall do not deserve proper housing.
No, Mr. Prime Minister, people are just surprised after you said you were 5 or 6 term Prime Minister. Sorry, Representative, and only now you're building houses.
Exactly.
Half of the people die and gone already.
And listen, they're into their 4th year. No, nothing on the housing, nothing on the housing. This is your 6th term representing Marsha, not a housing site.
But this is like afterthought.
Not a nail in the ground, but all of a sudden now, since Martinez exposed you're building houses in Rockall.
Yeah.
Mr. Prime Minister, who are you fooling?
Please.
Who are you fooling?
Let me tell you, it seems like this might be an important call. Let's just take it and then we'll go back quickly. I don't know. Hello? Call you on the air.
Let's just take it and then we'll go back.
Caller, you on the air.
Yeah, good evening, Garfield. I thank you for taking this call. I have been painfully, now Miss Ward is doing an excellent job, but I have been painfully watching this program tonight, seeing the very same tactics that Labour Party used in 2001, 2016 or 2001. They have been able to use the very same tactics again to have Miss Ward giving airplay to Philip JPF for a full hour without spending a lot of time on Mr. Hilaire and let people know what Mr. Hilaire did, what is leading to our potential losing of our correspondent banking.
Yeah, we have been doing that, caller, sir.
We're giving the gentleman, we do not want to hear. I was not at his meeting. I did not hear his meeting. I do not want to hear his meeting. Give us 3 minutes clipping what the gentleman said. Leave this gentleman alone and focus on what he did.
Caller.
Let people know why Martinez is trying to sue.
Caller.
Persons and leave. Stop giving this gentleman airplay.
I understand your feeling. I understand your feeling, caller.
Person giving this man airplay. This is how they won election in election in 2021.
Yeah, but it's very important that we debunk these things. And caller, let me tell you, text me after the show. I will bring you on so that you can come, and we will give you the same space so that you can we can get to work. All right. So. Let us finish, but appreciate you calling.
We really don't want to hear Mr. Pierre anymore. We want to hear what
I understand. I understand. And we will get there. Okay, no problem. Thanks for calling.
So Pastor Garfield, this caller probably called in late, and this is the beginning where we.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, he's very wrong. That's what we did not do in the last election, because nobody wanted to listen to Richard Frederick's lies on a Thursday. So nobody knew the lies he was telling that the population believed. Nobody knew the lies the Labour Party were telling at their meetings. So nobody was able to debunk them.
True.
We did not do what we are doing now. We did not. And that's why it's important to let our supporters know what they are saying to people, because don't think because we ignore them, it does not do damage. That's a mistake we made. And it's a mistake we should never make again. We did not do what we were doing here last time, and we need to do it. We need to show people what they are telling people that have influenced them and debunk their lies, which is what we are doing. Okay? We have also spent a lot of time talking about Ernest Hilaire and the CIP matter. So this caller is probably late to the game.
Maybe he came on to the show late, and maybe he can review the show after, go back and look at this show. And right now, the Prime Minister said a lot of stuff on Sunday that, if left unchecked, will start, will start having an effect on the citizens.
UWPs need to make up their mind, because on one hand they're saying we don't debunk. Now we're going through and debunking. Now they don't want to hear it. You can't have it both ways. We need to do what we are doing here to show people what they're saying and to dissect debunk. We did not do that last election. And the lies people believed. We are taking our time tonight, suffering through it, to do that, and
That's
we're going
right.
to continue to do that.
Because when you hear the Prime Minister of St. Lucia saying to St. Lucians that the opposition leader, our leader, Mr. Chasney, wants corresponding banks to leave St. Lucia, and that's what he's working on. He's working with fraudsters to do it, and he's attacking people personally and all these kind of nonsense, when he has a man on his side attacking the opposition leader constantly for years. And he said, no, that's not my making. It's UWP. He was UWP. He's not SLP. But the guy sits in his office as a junior minister.
Yeah.
So we're not going to sit here and allow those type of things to take root in the society. We will speak out on it. And you'll have to bear with us, caller. We love you. We appreciate the call. But, I'll give you this airtime to come on, and you let's debunk some of the things too. But the space is available. Absolutely. But let's go on.
Yeah. So I think we're almost at the end. We have over 200 viewers on the YouTube. We have about 550 live viewers on Facebook. And we probably have thousands more watching on their TVs.
Yes.
It's getting late. I don't know if you want to wrap it up. I don't think Philippe has anything sensible to say towards the end of the video.
Right. And I totally agree because, we'll continue, as you said, we'll continue to speak about the deception and the lies that the man is pushing on our people.
Yeah.
And we're not going to stop, period, you know. But anything you want to...
So there are a couple of things I want to leave. So remember, tomorrow night, Alan Chasney will be on Timothy's Newsmaker Live. So make sure you tune in to DBS tomorrow.
Yeah.
He will be brought in virtually from Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
It's my understanding that he's had the opportunity to meet with the various officials in Washington, D.C. to examine what the government should have been providing to us. So everybody make sure you tune in. Sunday is the New York Caucus's barbecue in Lawrington. It's gonna be wonderful, Pastor Garfield. I'm gonna be here.
That's what I heard. Yes.
Yeah. Several people from the Canada Caucus are coming down for the event. I know Flabo supporters from across the U.S., Texas, Chicago are coming. There a whole delegation from St. Lucia coming for that barbecue. So it's going to be the place to be. I know Champagne, Nancy, Brother Guy, Alan Chasney, Prudence as well, plus others are going to be there. So it's
I spoke to Guy, I spoke to Prudence, I spoke to Champagne and Chasney. All of those fellas are coming in. These brothers are going to be here in New York. It's going to be, and you coming over.
Yeah, and just
guess
not
what?
me alone. A lot of people from Canada are coming.
Wow.
Our caucus are coming as well.
And guess what? Our political leader is in Washington, and he's coming out with a whole sort of information that he did not have.
Exactly.
So you know that is going to be fire between now and then.
Absolutely.
So you can't miss tomorrow night.
Yep.
And then you cannot miss Sunday.
Absolutely.
And Champagne is going to be here on Monday in studio, and there's going to be some other stuff happening here. So it's going to be this weekend. It's going to be fiery friends. All right.
Absolutely. So he's joining you from New York in studio on Monday.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. He's
amazing. Coming right in.
That's wonderful. Nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
I'll get some champagne for Champagne.
Absolutely. And don't forget September 22nd.
Yes.
All, not just UWPs, all St. Lucians, start preparing for that date. September 22nd. It's a Sunday. September 22nd. Start readying yourself. I'm sure the party will announce further details as the time comes closer. But start asking those of you who work in hospitality and who work on Sundays and so on, start asking for that day off. Start arranging for September 22nd, for you to be on the William Peter Boulevard, and more details will be provided. So 3 dates you need to keep in mind.
Yes.
Or 4 dates. Tomorrow, Alan Chasney on Newsmaker Live. Sunday, the New York Caucus barbecue. Monday, Champagne will be joining Pastor Garfield in studio from New York. And September 22nd, the UWP is calling all St. Lucians out to a meeting on the William Peter Boulevard. So, Pastor Garfield, thank you again for giving me the opportunity to articulate these issues on your program and using your platform. Thank you to all the people who tune in. Like I said,
Yes.
about 550 on the Facebook Live, over 200 on YouTube, thousands more watching at home on GVD TV.
That's right.
I think there were a lot of there's a lot of interest in hearing what we had to say and debunking the Prime Minister and the lies and so on, and hearing about CIP. So thank you so much for this opportunity again.
Yes, and folks, the 22nd of September is something that you would want to pay attention to. Like I said to Champagne and the others, UWP is not going to be begging anyone to come out or paying anyone to come out. You got to understand the issues. We have been presenting those issues for you for over 3 years. You got to understand what you are feeling on the ground. We in the diaspora, we are joining with you. We have all the health care that we can get and all the food that we can get and all the protection that we can get. We are joining with you. Now, I am making the announcement that I am going to be on the ground on the 22nd.
Yes.
I am going to. So if I am going to make it and Manita is going to make it and others are going to make it, you should make it yourself.
Absolutely.
All right. So we look forward to all these events. It's a lot of stuff for the end of year, and we're just going to do what we have to do. But thank you so much, Manita, for being here with us on set. And folks, thank you too for being a part of the experience. We look forward to the many events. We'll meet some of you on Sunday, God's willing. Blessings. Thank you for sharing your evening with us. Blessings, folks.
Thank you.
Attack elderly people and tell, a big story. A big story. I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip
What pass up when Majibeti, sir?
Elderly people and tell, a big story.
What pass up when Majibeti, sir?
I must apologize to elderly people. A big story. Philip J. Pierre attack elderly people and tell,
this shot fella. The sky is falling. I heard this shot fella. The sky is falling. I heard this